will be for the whole world to see. Our love deeper than the night, like the stars above, and we'll always be together. I don't know why that song just popped in my head, but probably because I'm gonna be working with rose quartz today. So I have a tumbled piece of rose quartz. I'm going to be remaking something for my shop. I just wanted to chat with you guys and share my process with you while I had time. Someone purchased the piece that was in my shop. And let me show you. This is the piece that was purchased. And I like that starburst pattern. And that's generally what I stick with unless I have inspiration to do something else. So this is the new piece of rose quartz, and I'm going to be using copper wire to wrap it. And rose quartz. What is rose quartz? It's a crystal. What are crystals? Crystals are minerals and rocks that are found in the earth that have some energy and healing powers, or energies, healing energies. I don't like to say powers, but healing energies attributed to them. Rose quartz specifically is would be called a love stone. It's for self-love, forgiveness, deep heart matters, opening your heart. It's also good for fertility. It's something that, you know, we give to women or recommend to women who are interested in doing womb healing or who have had issues with fertility, because it helps them connect to that part of themselves that they've shut off. So that's what I'll be doing today. I already pre-cut a piece of copper. This is the copper wire. It's the 16 gauge copper wire. And then I use a 24 gauge copper wire to reinforce, to get that starburst pattern I showed you at first. And these are all my tools. Pliers. There's round pliers, flat pliers, and cutters. Those are what I use to maneuver the copper around the crystal. So you like to know what you are gonna, how you're gonna wrap your piece, so that you can go to it with, you know, some confidence. These tumble crystals are quite slippery and harder to wrap than the raw crystals. So you have to be very patient and very, you know, very patient, really. That's really all you gotta be. Very patient. I've done this a lot. So I have a little bit more skill than the average person. But anybody could do this as long as you're patient and pay attention. Listen to the crystal. Listen to what it's telling you it needs. You might think you're going to wrap it one way, or that it's going to look one way in its wrap, and it totally doesn't need whatever you're trying to do. So what I like to do is take the 18 gauge copper wire, or is that 16 gauge? I'm sorry, 16 gauge copper wire, and shape it around the crystal in the way that I want the necklace to fall on the person, on the client that will eventually get it. So that's the piece wrapped in its copper home, what will become its home soon. So there's two of one things I could do. There's one of two things, There's one of two things that I could do at this juncture. I can keep wrapping from here, and this could be the stabilizing space for this crystal, or I could take my metal bench and my hammer and flatten the copper wire, because it's smooth, because this crystal is so smooth. Sometimes when you flatten the copper wire, and it gives it a little bit more friction against the crystal, and it holds it in place a little better. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do. It depends on how I feel the wire sitting in the crystal. I mean, the crystal sitting in the wire. And after you work with these for a while, you'll kind of get a feel for it, whether you need to do it or not. Like this one doesn't have to have that done. I could wrap this from here, and it doesn't need that extra foundation. Also, that looks nice too. The flattened copper looks nice, but this one doesn't need that, so I'm not going to do that. We don't have to do anything we don't feel that is necessary. So before you close this off and make, you know, the loop for the necklace to go through, or your chain, you want to make sure that it's stable. And also, if you think you have too much wire, you can wrap it around again. Like I wouldn't take that side. It's really a lot of hand movements. That's why I don't have nails. Like, I wouldn't have fake nails anyway. But that's why I don't get my nails done. Because working with this stuff, it's a lot of hand work. And if I had my nails painted all the time, they would be tore up after dealing with making jewelry. And one of the reasons why I started making jewelry is because I love crystals and I love the healing energy of crystals. And I wanted to make sure that it was accessible to people in a way that they could have with them at all times. Like sometimes it's hard to just carry a crystal around in your pocket. You change your clothes, whatever. And if you're not consistent, you're just learning and starting to do your healing work with crystals, then you might not be clear about where you need to carry it, what you need to do with it, or whatever. And you might not be as attached to it, and you might just stop doing your work. So if you have a necklace or a bracelet or something that you have on your person, it makes it a lot easier for you to be reminded of what you said you were going to do when you decide to do work with crystals. So someone who decides to work with this crystal will be working on their self-love conversation, their forgiveness conversation, or their conversation around healing their womb, inviting love into their life. And say if you had a lot of heartbreaks and you have really bad trust issues and have a hard time being compassionate and connected to people because of that, this is a good crystal for that. For melting that type of resistance and helping you heal past that. So this is where we at. I don't like to wrap the crystal all the way around because I want to leave some out because I might put a design on the front. And then there's a back part here. What I do most times when I have some here, because I don't want to cut any of this off, I want to use it all, is I take my hands and I turn the back into like a S, a squiggly, to give it some support, to give the crystal some support on the back of the crystal. And I make sure that the bottom has a nice tight hook in it so that I can have a support space for my wire. And then I use, see, now that's what that looks like without any crystal in it. And then I'll put the crystal in there. You got to remember which side you did the crystal on, which side you shaped the wire to the crystal on, because it'll be hard to fit back in the wire if you don't do that. So there we go. And then, like I said, this is like a lot of patience, a lot of not rushing. So that's how it would look. And then the back would look like that. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to cut some wire, support wire, which is the 24 gauge wire. Need a lot of that because you're gonna do basically, I crochet. So what I'm basically doing is crocheting this wire. It's a weaving. You're gonna weave the wire. You find a spot. I like to start at the bottom. Find a spot at the bottom or the sides. I like to start at the bottom because that's how I am. And that's going to be your first encounter with both wires coming together. You want to do that, and you want to secure it with about no less than 5 loops around the initial securing the wire, the smaller wire to the larger wire. And you use your pliers. You can use your hands. Sometimes I use both. It depends on where the where what I'm working on is. I'm gonna get the tripod and put it over top so y'all can see that me working on it after I get this tight in here. Because it'll be better when you can see what my hands are doing up close. So it's really hard to film this. I was filming me making a piece of jewelry the other day, and let me turn it to my table. Having a workspace that is conducive to being you know, like where you can show your work is really important. So let me make sure I can see my hands in this. All right, so here's the wire secured to the other wire, and the wire shaped to fit the crystal, the rose quartz. I'm just going to simply put it back in there. I like to start at the back because I have a definite pattern I want to put on the front of the crystal. I go to the bottom of that loop. Ooh. I go to the bottom of that loop and see how I'm putting it through there. And then I take that wire in. You have to be very careful. Again, this is where patience comes in, because this wire gets tangled really easy, the thin one. And then it's ruined on some level, and you have to use another piece of wire. So turn it around. And that's going to happen a lot. You're going to drop your crystal a lot until you secure it in place. So don't worry about that. Your job is to make sure that it's tightly in there. See how tight that is? I'm sorry, I keep hitting the tripod. See how tight that is? Now you want to do that first loop more than once. You want to do it twice. So we're going to put it back through that small hole again, because the hole, you don't want it to go through the front of the other end yet. The whole design depends on this first. I'm going to take the crystal out. Depends on this first meeting of the wires. If it's not secure, it'll fall apart easily. Trying to make sure y'all can see. I just threw the crystal on the floor. All right, so these are my pliers. I'm going to pull it through. I'm sorry I got this thing all shaky. And again, you got to be careful. I'm not going to pull it through all the way tight, because I got to put the crystal back in there. Make sure I'm tight to the crystal. All right, so put you back in your new home. Are you going? That's not the right way. Okay. And once you start working with it, you can feel how you shape the wire. You can feel like when you're putting a crystal, see how that looks? That's wrong. I got it upside down. There you go. And the other way. There it is. See how that was? You got to move it around and feel it. This is all about feeling, using your hands. So you have to really be listening to your body, listening to yourself. That's why I love doing this work. It's not super lucrative like some people like to think, but it is fulfilling, and I learn a lot about myself. All right, so now it's tight and the crystal is in there. See that? It's a really pretty piece of rose quartz. Now I want to take this wire and reattach it back to the front of the other wire. Now I know I want to thank you so much, Melinda. I know I want to what do you call that? Make a starburst pattern, which is the pattern I first showed you guys. So a star has 5 points. So we're going to go, that's the first point across. Star has at least 5 points. You can have a starburst with more than 5 points. So that's the first point across. And remember, you got this wire up here that you're not finished using yet, and you got to avoid that. You're going to go back into the front at the top here of this wire. I'm sorry, Marley's trying to sit in the seat behind me. Because, you know, what is a mom if you can't be close to her? I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame. There we go. So I found a way in under the wire without taking the crystal out, because you don't want to dislodge the crystal if you don't have to. I'm sorry, this thing is so shaky. I use my fingers a lot. Yeah, again, go slow. Slow, slow, slow. And you see that piece right there that's behind it? You're going to connect this wire to that wire. And then, honestly, once you do that, I'm going to do this loop through again one more time. Again, because this is the stabilizing part of the jewelry. This is what's going to make this jewelry stay together. And then I'm going to take it through that back, this part right here. And make sure that it goes under. And pull it through very slowly. Make sure that it's tight. See that? Now, that is in there. It's not going nowhere at this point. But I'm not done. Make sure that these are my pliers. I'm going to close that up because I want it to look neat. Sorry with the movement. So you see that? And that's going across. Now we're at the back. So I have one going across here. I need one going across here. I need one going up here. And I need one going up there. So what would I do? I'm going to go across the back here. And I'm going to go through this back end piece. Because, I could go down there. Because you see how that's out? But I'll come back for that. I'm going to go across here. I don't want it to go through the front. You only want to go through one side at a time because you want your jewelry, and I can't use my hands because it's so smooth. I need the pliers to get that. Okay. You want the jewelry, and see how it get twisted?
Purple. No, yellow.
My baby came and decided to be in the video, but off screen. Again, don't let it get twisted.
Red.
Straighten it as much as you can. See that? See, it's still shifting a little. You're going to go back in that again. Loop it in. Don't go through that front yet. So I need to pliers again. Do I need to pliers again? Nope, I can use my fingers. See, this is why you can't. That's why I can't get nails and do all that girly stuff. I make at least 10 necklaces a week. It's just a waste of money. to do all that dolly stuff. All right. So then we're in the front now. And we're going to go across like we did down there. So we got 2 points, which is 4 points. Right? I got to find a way to get in there. See, I just slid it through. Using my hands. Gonna tighten it again. We'll make sure there's no slack across the crystal. That's not gonna work. Right? You want it to be flush. And then, you see how I was worried about that being open? And now we're closing it up, and you're gonna bring it right there. And slide it under there. Go in wherever you can get in. And bring it down to, all right, I want it down there. And because this is a big gap from front to back, make sure that this goes next to that one. See that? And this wire is very sharp. That's another reason why you gotta move slow. So now I want to come across here. So I'm gonna come here. It's very sharp. I've cut myself tons of times when I first began. And my fingers used to be bleeding all the time from moving it around. Especially the smaller it gets. I don't know why it gets so sharp. But it is wire. So I want this to be really secure because it had that gap there. So I'm gonna do that again. And again, you're gonna go slow because you don't want to mess up your wire. We're already halfway in. It'll be a shame to start all over. And trust me, I had to do that. So we come across. Then we do it again on the other side, but I want it up. I don't want it under, on the bottom. Again, make sure that it's flush, that it's no gaps. Sorry, the wires everywhere. There's no gaps in between the crystal and the wire. So I have 1 across, 2 across, 3 across. I need this up and down. So I can go up there, but I wouldn't do that because I already went up there. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna hook it in at the closest interval on the back. And I actually gotta loosen that a little bit because I wanna go under that and not over it. And you can see I'm trying to not bend the wire and do that. Oh man, come on y'all. This is interesting looking at this through the camera while I'm doing it. I'm not looking at the crystal. I never did this. I'm looking at it the same way y'all looking at it. So there we go. And make sure you get the twist out. This part of your finger, this part of your thumb right there, that's how you get a lot of the bumps out of the wire. So, there. Again, no gaps, no gaps, no gaps. Want it flush. So when whoever gets this, oh my God, I'm sorry, Marley's jumping on me. Oh, so whoever gets this, no, Marley, no, baby, this is not the time, okay, mommy? I'll pick you up in a second, and we can do piggyback rides. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap that again because I believe in security. I have a Taurus rising, so I'm definitely about secure spaces. Make sure that's twisted the correct way. And it's in there. See that? Now, I said I wanted to go here and go there. So, I gotta make my way down there.
I love you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy.
Now, I'm trying to get it from here to that piece right there, because I want it to be as neat as possible. And I gotta find my way under there. Now that I've tightened, this is where it gets hard. Now that I've tightened all of this wire down to the crystal to where there's no gaps, now I gotta just work for it. And I'm doing this through the camera. Normally I could just pull this as close to my eye as possible, but I'm using the camera to try to see around this, to try to get through this. And it's not being my friend. This is like where nobody likes to do. Another thing is, if you have a hard time getting the wire through, it's really crunched up on the end, just cut that piece off. Having too much difficulties, don't keep forcing something that doesn't want to work.
Pickles. What?
I want it. Right. I pray they hope it know this made with love, because you are not getting away with pretty fingers and making jewelry with wire. It's just not happening. Sometimes I see women who have really, oh, there's a way under. All right, I'll take that. Sometimes I see women who have really pretty hands and they work with wire, and I'm like, maybe it's me. Oh, maybe I just don't know how to be feminine in that way. All right, so now we're at the other side. Again, tight. Now we're going up. Now, instead of going straight up like we just did with all the other ones, we're going to go up, but we're going to go under, come back and go under all of these other wires that we already fixed. So I got one more. You want to find your way under these things as easy as possible without moving them around. Thank you. Use your tools if you don't have to use your hands. I am a handsy person. Got my pointy. See, it's right there. I don't want to lose it. There we go. All right. So squeeze that. You can do it once, twice. Once you go under it, you can go under it again. I like to do twice. Again, as you noticed, I like to do everything twice. So under it again. And we're going to pull it. Oh, now I got wrapped around. Wait a minute, Marley. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. She's demanding my attention. There you go, boo. All right, so it got wrapped around this piece. Remember this piece? I was like, I don't like to do anything with that until I'm done. All right, there we go. So, and that's tight. Now we're at the top. We have our starburst pattern, and I would take this and go under that piece right there. Making sure that I make that as tight as possible so that that will not become compromised. And there you are. Use your hands and move it around. And that's the basic starburst pattern. And that's how you go about it. Now I'm going to secure this. I'm going to take it off the what's it called, so that y'all can see how I finish it. All right, so that's like how, and you see, it don't take me that long because I do this all the time. I think the first time I realized how I could get it done, and you see how this is right here, there's like a gap spot. I can go there and there. Like, I would do that. I would go back down, pull that through again, didn't end up over there. So the whole crystal is covered in the pattern. You're not getting any break. And I like that. And secure it over there on that side. And again, secure it to the back. Once you secure it to the back, you're gonna wrap it like you did that first time you did. You added this wire onto it, at least 5 wraps. So you gotta do that. That's 2. Three. 4. And this is the last time. And because I don't like to throw away wire, I'm going to come over here and fasten it again the same way 5 more times. But it won't be as long because copper wire is very expensive. I don't like to waste any if I don't have to. Copper wire is amazing because it's really good for grounding and protecting you. Copper emits a natural energy, and this is why I use it to wrap crystals in, because it helps the energy of the crystals. Also, it's really good for people who have arthritis. Copper is. So, and it's a, like, again, like I said, it's a super protective, has a super protective energy. So I feel like, and I know it does, that the copper boosts the energies of the crystals, because it allows the crystals to show up in its full energy and to help you do the work that you came to do. And that's why I really only do copper and copper color. Every now and then I may have gold copper that's painted gold, and sometimes I'll have silver copper wire, but for the most part I am a pure copper girl. And this copper that I use has been treated, meaning that it's coated so that it will be resistant to tarnishing and everything. And so I'll cut that. I will find a way to use this. Okay. There'll be other pieces of jewelry. Then you take your pliers and just make sure that any sharp part of the copper wire is flat against the other copper wire. And then you're going to take your pliers and go along and squeeze any pieces that are separate along the sides together. And then you're going to take this piece that you let hang out there and be friends by itself and wrap it around and secure the base of your necklace. Give it that pretty swirly look that we like when we see copper jewelry. You just take the last little bit and just take your finger and rub it along. If you want, see how like it's stopping in the back there, you can just leave it there. I'm going to not do anything with it yet because I might want to do something on the front since this piece is not finished. You're going to take and squeeze this. Then you're going to go around and on the ends of all, I'm sorry, I'm not out of frame. On the ends where the copper wire meets the copper wire, where the thinner copper wire meets the copper wire, you're going to squeeze and make sure that there's no gaps with your pliers. And be gentle because these are not coated. If you are just beginning to work with copper, get coated wires. They have plastic tip wires that'll save you from ruining your copper until you get softer and you understand how to work with copper. But yeah, so I want all of the pieces to be close to the crystal and not away from it. And so I'm doing that now, shaping them down to that. Now, so this is a pretty straight star. I don't want it to be straight. So I'm going to go in and do a little twist with this as well. And I'll show you it. So all I'm doing is grabbing the copper wire with the end and doing a little gentle twist to the middle of the copper to give it that full starburst look, like, you know, like a sun or star. Ooh. And this is why you gotta really like pay attention to this, because it be so slippery. The crystal is really smooth, especially these tumbled crystals. It's really smooth. This, I think I want curly Q on the front here. So I'll take these pliers and curl that up real good like I did the back. So now it's a curl on the front and a curl on the back. And then I'm gonna take and just lock that curl into place with the flat pliers. Take the, and then that's that. Let me turn the camera around so you can see everything. And that is the finished piece of rose quartz wrap. Now she's really pretty piece of rose quartz, and that is the back. And I'll probably do a little twist to the back too, because I like to do that. But this is what the world will see right here for the most part. And I like the starburst pattern because I feel like it distributes the energy of the crystal in a beautiful way. And it's not just like in a way that's manageable, and it's not just like forcefully coming at you. So yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me and wrapping a piece of jewelry with me. It's one of the things that I love to do. And it's always, you know, everybody doesn't get to do something that they love. And I think that if we share how we created spaces, and not just as a business, but just doing it, period. Even if I didn't have a business, I would do this. I was making jewelry and crocheting and all of that before it was a business. I was doing it because it just felt good. And I think we should do that. I think as human beings, we get to do more of what makes us feel good, because then when we interact with other human beings, we are a lot more present. We're a lot more happier. And we are spreading good energy because we feel good. We feel good, then we can spread good feeling energy to each other. All right? So thank y'all for sharing the love with me and wrapping this beautiful piece of rose quartz. It'll be in the shop in the next 24 hours. Now that's the part right there that takes me a while. It takes me a while to take pictures and upload everything, because I have in my head like a way that I want things to be put on the store. So that takes a while. Let me make sure y'all not Ashe, thank you, Coral. I hope I say your name is Coral. I hope I said your name correctly. I'll do some waist beads next time, because a lot of people ask me how to make waist beads. I get a lot of requests for how to make copper jewelry and a lot of requests for how to make waist beads. So I'll do waist beads next time. It's really like just, again, patience and knowing what you're making the waist beads for. Just like, you know, when you come to, you know, you got a crystal that represents something, you bring that same energy to what you're doing, and you know that it's going to be a good piece for somebody. All the pieces are, after when you order them, are Reiki charged. I practice Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, certified Reiki practitioner. And Reiki is a healing energy that flows through your hands. It's given to you and taught to you by a Reiki master. I am from the, I can never say this, Usi school of Reiki. And so that's my lineage. If anybody wanted to know what lineage I come from. And that helps cleanse and helps the vibration of the crystal before it gets to you, and cleanse it from anything from me that didn't need to come with it, and anything from where I purchased the crystal from. I do my best to purchase my crystals from ethically sourced crystal people, meaning crystal buyers, meaning people who aren't just buying crystals just to hoard them in their shops and make money off of them, because this has become popular lately. Crystals have become super popular. I remember I could go in a crystal store. I would be the only person in there for 3 hours. Now I go in a crystal store. I have to wait in line to get in the crystal store, y'all. This is weird. It's like a whole different world. I never thought I'd see this. Oh, corral. Okay. Pretty. And so now we're at a place where people are recognizing the healing energy of crystals and wanting to do work with crystals more, and I'm really excited about it. Because crystal work is really personal. The tools you choose are personal. They chose you too. So when you choose crystals, or you choose sound, or you choose herbs, planting, cooking, whatever it is you choose that's going to help you heal, it's choosing you too. There's an energy there that thing is inviting you to be a part of its world as well. So, just really growing into those things and allowing them to show up for us in the way that we have invited them into our space. And I know that a lot of people are like, no, it's just a thing. It's not just a thing, it's an energy. Everything has energy. We're all energy based beings. Everything here is energy based. Yeah, sprinkles and boosts. It's so popular now, right? I got my first crystal when I was like 21. I'm like 44 now. So just to see this, just to see this is like, I never thought I'd see the day where I had to like wait in line at a crystal shop. I'm happy for especially the crystal shop that I go to, mainly go to. He's a really amazing guy. Like, he is so dope. And he literally goes and digs the crystals out the ground and gets them. And that's why I buy from him, because I feel like anyone who would get that close to them really respects what they have to bring to the space. And that's hard to find, especially in these times where everyone is thinking about making money. Everything is a commodity. And it's just like, it's not that's not how things work, really. So yeah, but I hope this was informative for anybody who really wanted to learn how to make copper jewelry. I hope this style fits you, and I hope it I taught it in a way that was useful. Oh yeah, girl. So you've been hanging out with me in your city at the crystal shops. I've been hanging out in DC at the crystal shops. And also the crystals were cheaper. Now here, oh my god, I went to get some lapis lazuli, which has always been a popular crystal and has always been like on the crystal list of overpriced crystals. But now it's so overpriced. I saw a price when I say a chip of lapis lazuli was $10. A chip. When I used to go get a piece of lapis lazuli for $1.50. Oh, I miss those days. A chip was $10. When I looked at the regular size ones, they were $15, $20 for this size lapis lazuli. It was like $20. So then I can't carry lapis lazuli in my shop because I can't charge $50 for one necklace, because that's the only way that's going to make sense. That isn't that crazy? Yeah, but it's such a there's a lot of alternative people in DC. Like, you know, we have a big population of people who do what they want and go their own way. So crystals appeal to them, and yeah, $15 for a piece of lapis lazuli. I can't, I can't do that because I can't ethically resell it. Like, so people, a lot of people have been asking for lapis lazuli in my shop, and I'm just like, you should have got that last piece I had when it was like $5. Because I cannot pay $15 for a good piece of lapis lazuli just to wrap it and then charge someone like $50 for a necklace. That's just insane. So I'll stay with the yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for today, y'all. Oh, I guess I should, you know, the link to buy anything is in my bio, the shop. Um, and I'm gonna do some yoga this week live. That's my goal. We'll see how Marley lets that happen. Um, because I want to get on here more and do more live yoga. I just haven't been able to. Um, so I'll talk to you guys later because this is getting long. I'll see you guys later. Have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you.